Oh hey, we sense that you're here.
And we're deeply glad that you came.
Hello and welcome back to Sculk Vibes.
A podcast where we talk about Minecraft and other related topics. My name's Dionzu, and I'm lurking here in the dark with...
Talon? No, sorry, I'm the snail. I've come here to end you.
No! Hey,
Come back here!
I invested in Bitcoin!
But the snail will eventually catch up to us in many years from now. However, that's not relevant. They didn't add snails to Minecraft, but do you know what they did add to Minecraft?
What did they?
The wild update. We're gonna talk about that.
Indeed.
Anyways, the candles are starting. I'm joking. I think Minecraft Live this year, I think it was relatively eventful, yet kind of small, in my opinion, but whatever.
Smaller scale than last year's, for sure.
For sure, yeah. But let's go over mob vote stuff first.
Indeed.
So, for those who don't know, basically the three options were the glare, the alley, and the copper golem. The glare kind of let players know. It got in a hissy fit every time there was a dark area which monsters can spawn in. The alley picks up items for you and brings it to a note block or yourself. And then the copper golem oxidizes over time and also presses copper buttons, which would also be added with the copper golem choice, randomly.
Right.
However, nobody liked glare, even though it looked like funny weed mob. So that lost first round. Then it was pretty much copper golem versus ally. Personally, during the actual event, I was very tied between the two choices because I love them both so much. But I voted copper golem anyways.
Same.
Yeah, I voted copper golem because I was like, I want to see abandoned copper golems in people's bases.
I love just this little steampunk robot man that goes around pressing buttons.
Beep, boop, 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 boop. But I kind of had a feeling that LA would win regardless, so I wanted to give my copper boy a chance, but unfortunately, LA just won.
Yeah.
But it's also fortunate because, oh my god, the LA is a lazy man's fucking dream mob. Picks up stuff for you as you're mining.
Right.
What a wonderful creature.
Little music goblin man that flies around.
Little music goblin.
Yeah.
My little note boy. My little note maid.
Yeah, I was gonna tell you about the maid stuff. There's so much LA maid fan art. My god. And it's all really high quality.
Oh, there was one by a person named Neon Leon who made art of the allayed or the LA made, but looked really nice. The closest thing I can compare it to is it looked like the Promised Neverland anime mother. If any of you guys have watched that, but I don't know. There's some good art.
Yeah.
For such a
questionable art.
Funny concept.
Some very, very questionable art.
Questionable and good art.
Indeed.
But that was pretty much that. So LA will be coming in 1.19, which we will get to in a little bit. But let's talk about 1.18.
All right then.
I've been playing on 1.18 Snapshot recently. I did a stream and it was pretty chill. I tried breaking my own meta with the game. With this new snapshot or this new update, because I feel like in order for me to enjoy it more, I want to do something that I don't normally do, which in this case, I fully built a house instead of just a bunch of chests and torches out in the middle of the open.
Chest monsters. Yeah,
I'm a chest monster goblin. Chest goblin, as Sneak Snag would put it.
Gobbler.
But basically, I just made a genuine house for the first time. Made some cut copper stairs for the roof. It was nice.
Not being homeless.
Exactly. Yeah.
Exactly.
And then I have this like giant. I spawned on a beach, and right next to the beach were some plains that were very hilly, and some like forest hills out in the distance. And I made I made my house on top of the plains hill, and right below it is like a cave entrance, like a noodle cave that's very slim and like straight down, that I could like kind of work my way down. And underneath that hill where my house is, there's just a huge cavern that is like goes from stone layer to deep slate. It's like humongous, and it's like several layers of like the cheese caves.
Cheese cave, my favorite type. Okay. Very dumb tangent, but are you aware of the Wisconsin cheese caves?
No.
There is a series of complexes, I believe, in Wisconsin, where it's just cheese aging caves, where like they age like cheese in caves.
Yeah, like like Hobbit hole things. I think I remember seeing like a documentary or something on like the Discovery Channel or something.
This is the deep dark.
This is the cheese caves of Wisconsin are the deep dark.
Is this the truth?
The cheese dark? Are we gonna become the Gouda vibes? I don't know. Brulee vibes? No, not brulee. That's fucking custard. I'm stupid. Crème brûlée.
I've done a lot of like like how like valleys are now a thing, right? And like river valleys as well.
Oh yeah.
I've done a lot of like a valley exploration, which I always love.
Ooh, nice.
The nice feeling of the mountains like towering over you and stuff.
Okay, one thing that I will say is that the rivers feel a lot more coherent instead of like cut off at certain parts, where then you have to like dig your way through it so your boat can go through.
Like you can actually do like river travel that is viable.
Yes. I like went down a river in that same world, and I found like an aquifer below another mountain that was just huge.
So many like ominous like dripstone mouth caves, as I call them, because it looks like teeth.
I have yet to find a cave biome in my world. Even in that like giant cheese cave below my house, it's just like a normal cave. There's no cave biomes yet that I've found. So that's definitely one of my goals, is to find like a huge mountain first of all, because I've also been the last snapshot 21W42A I believe added new music by Lena Raine and I forgot the other lady's name, but she worked on Final Fantasy music.
Ooh, didn't know that.
And basically there's a bunch of new ambience music, especially when you're like on the mountains or in the caves, and I've just been having that on and trying to get a feel for whether or not I actually enjoy the new tracks. Like I've listened to all of them on their own. I just want to listen to them in game to see how well they work before I get like a final judgment on them. Have you listened to any of them?
I have. I really like Standing Tall, actually.
Stand Tall's like I really enjoy that one. I have yet to hear that in game though, but on its own, it's like the best one out of the rest of the ambient ones in my opinion.
The point where like the piano starts playing, I really like that. It's the kind of yeah, that one. God, that part hits hard. Why couldn't the song just be just that?
I don't know.
It's just me like, have you ever just wanted like that small bit in a song that sounds like really really nice, right? And you like wanted an entire song just off of that one sampling.
I kind of want to hear. I've not seen any like good remixes of the newer songs yet. I wanna see if anybody chooses to do that. It tends to be less. Tends to be more rare to find remixes of like ambient music, but the new music though, kind of a banger. Other side. Yeah.
I don't know why, but like the second half of it sounds like RuneScape music for some reason.
Okay. First half
hits hard, I'd say. Hardest for me.
I perfectly described Other Side before. I forgot what I said about it. First half was like reminded me. I don't know. I have to like find what I said before, but basically I remember I described the first half as something, and then I described the second half as like Daft Punk. Felt a lot like Daft Punk in the second half. Did you get those vibes?
Not necessarily, at least for me.
Sculk vibes. I said the funny. I said the funny.
He did the amethyst donger. Amethyst donger.
Ding 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 ding.
No,
Ding, ding,
no,
ding.
no!
Ding 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 ding
It's
ding.
been a year, Talon. It's
Ding,
been a
ding, ding,
year.
ding,
It's
ding.
been an actual year.
But I want to see, you know, the guy who remixed Pigstep and Stall, Fly the Kid.
Not familiar.
I believe it was the same Pigstep remix used in the saddest animation of Technoblade versus Dream.
I see.
I want to see him make a remix of Other Side. I think that would be like really cool.
I'd be interested in seeing this.
Also, Other Side is like the first song that includes guitar in Minecraft.
Does it?
I think so.
Did not know.
From what I at least am aware of. And then it's like the second song that adds trumpet, because the first one that actually has trumpet is like Pigstep, but
I swear Stall had a portion with the guitar in it.
oh, maybe.
I heard my friend describe it as a dusty guitar, which is why it sounded like that. I don't know if
I
that's
think
correct,
it's
though.
more bassy than guitar-y. Dun 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 dun. I don't know. I have to. Stall's like a banger too. I still prefer Stall and Pigstep over Other Side, to be honest. Other Side's like a good A tier if I had to put it on a tier list.
I could agree with that for the most part. I do feel like Other Side's really good for like kind of slow adventuring, like when you're just like looking at mountains and stuff.
It's like top of A tier, in my opinion.
Really love Stall. I just really love Jazz as a whole, actually.
Yeah. But the rest of 1.18, they're going to eventually add some like old world transitioning in with old worlds. Right. So what I mean by that is like beneath pre-existing worlds that don't have the extra world height below, they're going to replace bedrock in those old worlds with the new caves. So like deep slate layer and new caves under there.
Right.
Which will be, I don't know how I feel about that. It definitely will provide new stuff early, because in those old worlds, because you can just go straight down from where you're at.
Right. No weird adventuring into the distance type stuff.
Yeah, and trying to find the new chunks. Like the new chunks are there in those old chunks, basically. But as for chunk transitioning, they're going to add smooth chunk transitions instead of like straight up chunk borders, which are just giant walls of the old and new chunks. Which I think it's going to be hard to tell where the new content is a little bit from the old content in some cases. In this case, with the generation, it's like going to be pretty apparent, but I'm saying for like future updates, if there's like a new update, like 1.19 to 1.20, like how are you going to tell that chunk from the new chunk? Besides like finding the new content.
Maybe so like the mountain formations. That's probably my best guess.
Well, not okay. So I was providing an example of like 1.19 and 1.20. We don't know what 1.20 is going to be, but it's more apparent, or it's more obvious with 1.18 to 1.17 to 1.18 because of the generation has changed drastically. So, but anyway, smooth chunk transitions is going to be really nice for immersion.
Yeah. No more like those weird chunk walls. Because on one hand, I kind of miss them because they give like a weird sense of history. On the other hand, I kind of hate them because they look really out of place.
They're like Farlands, but not.
Yeah, bootleg Farlands.
Bootleg Fartlands.
Fartlands.
Shit.
Fartlands.
Shit, that's not what I meant. Bootleg Farlands.
You know, they aren't the Farlands. They are the Fartlands. It's their official name.
They're not as cool as the actual Farlands. I wish they like. Oh, and they did a bunch of biome renaming in 1.18. So like
Yeah,
they
like
got rid of
1.6
like
now.
some of the very niche and small biomes, like Plateau M, Plateau F, whatever,
What does the M and F even mean in that situation?
mountains and I don't know.
Forest.
I don't know. It was one of the whatever. But now there's like so in terms of like tall birch forest versus like normal birch forest, it's like birch forest and then old grove birch forest or something.
Ah,
Or old growth birch forest.
interesting.
Which I think that because of that name change, it definitely makes a lot of sense with some of the 1.19 stuff, which we'll get to in
Right.
terms of the biome stuff. Because 1.19 is the wild update.
Hmm.
Wow.
Indeed. Huh. Speaking of the wild update, okay, so you know how they pushed the deep dark back again from 1.17 to 1.18 and then now to 1.19.
Yeah.
But I'd say for the better because you have all the cool stuff like ancient cities and the like, right?
Yeah.
What do you think about like the ancient cities and all that like new stuff?
So I made a reaction video like a week ago by now. I was popping off the entire that entire stream of Minecraft Live. As Josephine put it in one of the comments, I sound like I'm fucking shitting myself as I'm seeing this stuff because I'm like super amazed by all of it.
Right.
But the ancient cities, I kind of, after we get into the other deep dark features, I kind of want to talk about my headcanon for like what that is in terms of the Sculk stuff, because there's a lot of like, it's a lot of horror, but a lot of
Right.
mystery as well,
Correct.
especially with
Like
the structures.
the Skulk Shrieker, no, Skulk Shrieker is like horrific. Like the sounds it makes,
Oh my
This-
god.
terrible screaming.
The fact that if you like, even they added in one new feature for Sculk sensors is that even if you're crouching on the Sculk sensor, it'll still send a signal because you're directly on it, which makes sense. But
Right.
and so basically, you know how like people have had like mob concepts for like the informer or something, like a bat
some-
Sculk creature that
Some type
informs
of
the warden.
snitch mob, right?
You already have that with the Sculk sensor and the Shrieker combined.
Mm.
Because if the Sculk sensor detects your vibration, it'll send a signal to the Shrieker, and then the Shrieker will pop off and be like, "Woo! Yeah, baby, there's a player here!" And then darkness will overcome you,
Yeah.
which is actually like a new effect. It's like blindness 2.0.
Yeah, blindness, but better, basically.
Yeah.
Like, how to describe the screaming? It's like echoey and has this animalistic sound to it. I could agree with
I don't
that.
know. I don't know. I tried doing the. Nah. God, I can make some fucking ugly sounds.
Mouth noise contest 2021. Yeah, I can speak Piglin, so what? I never thought I would be making Piglin noises with Talon in a voice chat before, but now, look at me now, 2019 me. Look at me now. This is absurd.
What catalyst?
It murdered one of the features I'm working on in a mod. We had a near exact idea similar to this. A tree that would grow if you like killed mobs near it. That would store the XP of the mobs that you killed.
Oh my god, that's hilarious.
It got murdered, man. It was an assassination. I'm telling you. Mojang was listening. We were bugged by Mojang.
King B
That's
Dogs
what
grabbed
happened.
his sniper monkey and told the monkey to aim for your mod project and be like, take that.
I'm telling you, Mojang it has me bugged and has like spy stuff around me.
Concerning.
Yeah.
But the catalyst itself, it's such a. I love the idea of it because you physically kill a mob, of which the catalyst has like little, it does like a little bloom animation, like a ring appears on the block, and then little soul particles come out of it, meaning like the soul of the whatever mob you just killed enters the catalyst, and then the catalyst uses that to create more Sculk, which is crazy. And then the Sculk blocks themselves, if you like harvest them, they drop XP based off the amount of XP that mob had.
Like, it's XP storage and cool about it.
Yeah. I mean, we kind of had that with Nether Quartz ore, but like Sculk is renewable at this point, so
right.
It's like better, but not. I mean, you can make it easily as good as Nether Quartz, probably with like an Enderman farm or Blaze.
Right.
I forgot which mob that is farmable has like the most XP.
I can assume Enderman.
I think it's one of those two. Yeah.
Yeah.
But that kind of implies that that the catalyst, I think it's so cool of a concept, because I think my headcanon for the catalyst is that, in terms of lore wise, when a mob dies, its soul gets consumed by the catalyst, and that catalyst converts the soul into physical matter, which the physical matter is the Sculk blocks. So I'm assuming like Sculk is like some sort of organic soul like material, which is a conversion to XP, which is basically soul conversion to energy. Because XP is kind of like the energy of Minecraft, if you think about it.
I'm thinking it's like a life force or something like that, maybe.
Basically, I think it's like life energy, just energy in general. Because, you know, like, it's very key and important for XP to use, like, for enchanting, which is basically like the only form of magic besides potion brewing that currently exists. And it requires XP, so it requires... Because every time you kill a mob, it drops XP, right? So it's not directly the soul, but it's like the soul's energy, in my opinion.
I think,
and that the catalyst like solidifies that idea.
Right. I'm thinking that the Skulks themselves are some type of like soul vessel. Sort of like kind of like the Flood from Halo, where basically the Skulks were created as some type of soul vessel in the ancient cities that kind of went out of hand and become corrupted.
So I want to get to that, but after we talk about Warden 2.0.
Indeed. Warden 2.
Okay. I'm not gonna lie. I was stunned when I saw that shit crawling out of the ground.
Yeah. Punching its way out of the ground, All-Star playing Fate in the background.
I'm excited to see that like fully that full crawling animation when he emerges from the Sculk.
Yeah, just
that's
like
gonna be crazy.
It will be horrific as well, because the thing, like, it has more emissive particles, if you mentioned a while back, and also like it can sniff out players, so now it has an extra sense on it.
I mean, the sniffing out thing, I feel like that's a little bit of it's a quote unquote excuse, but not really, for like it actively pathfinding towards the player instead of just like staying in place and only pathfinding towards the player when there's a vibration.
I'd say it makes it a little bit like
it definitely makes it more challenging, which I think I definitely agree with that change. But it's just funny that they've considered to make that like sniffing, even though it doesn't have a nose. Sniffs with its mouth.
Yeah, like inhales the air, like little particles.
He's like, I taste the air.
Maybe like if you eat around the warden, it gains extra sniffing power.
I don't know. What if the mouth is like a nose and a mouth at the same time?
I'm thinking something like that. It's a jawless, forever open mouth of sorts.
Kinda. It's just like one giant nostril.
Oh, God.
Oh, that's hilarious. Oh, my God.
I'm just having this image of like the warden with like this realistic human nose on it. Not like a villager. There's like a massive human nose instead of a mouth.
I just see my own nose on that thing because I have a pretty big nose.
The Talon. The Talon? I'm trying to find a confusion between Talon and Warden. The Torden. There.
Torden? That sounds weird. But the Warden it emerges from the ground only if you've activated the Shriekers several times.
Right.
So you gotta, especially when you're like looting the ancient cities, you gotta watch your goddamn step. That thing's gonna pop out of nowhere if you activate those Shriekers.
Right.
However, in the ancient cities, there are wool pathways, which is kind of weird.
I think it's for like the occlusion thingy.
Right, it's to teach players about like the wool occlusion, but it's also implies that whoever built the cities knew how to handle the Sculk, I guess. So, okay, hear me out. I wanna explain my idea, my headcanon between the entire lore of the ancient city. So, I have several ideas in terms of this. One idea is that the ancient city people, because you know how there's like concept art of like this stone head looking thing with a giant open mouth. Right. And then you can also see that like giant open mouth structure on top of the ancient city footage.
Yeah. The frame.
I'm thinking that's either that statue is either what the ancient builders look like, or not the ancient builders for everything. We don't know if the ancient builders for other structures are the same as the ancient city ones, but the that could either be the ancient city people, or what the ancient city people worship as like a
I was thinking
deity,
deity
or god.
Sometimes basically extremely messed up deity.
And the ancient city is filled with a bunch of soul lanterns and soul fire, which the soul fire is lit on soul sand, which you can see in the footage. And so they were definitely this implies that they have either been to the Nether before and are like taking these souls or the soul sand, and I have a theory that they were messing with that idea of converting souls into XP. And so I wouldn't be surprised if they were harvesting soul sand because they created this like I'm thinking these people created the catalysts of which the Sculk arose from.
I feel like the Sculk the Sculk wasn't made. It kind of just what's the word, mutated, I guess. Maybe the original.
Yeah.
The original thing they created it for may have been just like a pile of meat that maybe people could have like revived from somehow, and then like the Sculk became mutated as it became its own organism with like the whole tentacles being the first sensory.
So I think it's sort of like that, but like the catalyst, they like created the catalyst, and then they realized that instead of it's a direct conversion of soul to XP, it instead had to create this organic material, which is the Sculk. And then they learned what this Sculk was, and they had to like cope with the Sculk by like they learned how to deal with the Sculk, which explains the wool pathways, right? And so as they were learning about the Sculk and like doing this research of skull to like or not skull, soul to XP conversion, they eventually realized that was a mistake of sorts. I think the warden is like, I don't know. I think the warden emerged from the Sculk because it's like an amalgamation of the souls of like I have two theories. I think the warden could be an amalgamation or like a horribly deformed version of one of the dead ancient city builders, because those are like, what if they like sacrificed their own people too for those souls? So those souls of those people converted into the warden, which is a relatively similarly shaped to those builders or whatever the statue thing is. And that warden emerged when the Sculk got harmed, and so they realized that was their mistake of creating this catalyst, and the Sculk got out of hand, and then they all died and became more Sculk.
I have a theory.
Hold up. That's my one headcanon. And then the second one is that they were trying to recreate this deity or god that they have, and basically it went horribly wrong, and they created a fucking Frankenstein monster, which is the Warden and Skulk. That's my second idea. All right, you go ahead.
I'm gonna soapbox right. Okay, so I noticed something about like the Warden's arms, right?
Mm-hmm.
First of all, the area on its shoulders look kind of ragged without any transition, right?
Like the bony part to the Skulk part.
No, like on the shoulders, like the Skulk part to the bony part.
Yeah.
And it has kind of like these lines on its like arm. I'm thinking that the Warden may just be an extremely messed up Steve. I see like the top parts as like a messed up like sleeves that have been worn down. This like the white part as like a pale skin, and like the chest is just a rib cage. Of course, that's one of my interpretations.
They said they based the Shrieker off the human larynx, which the human larynx, that's kind of like cartilage.
Oh god, what if each Skulk part is actually like just some
the
part
larynx
of the human
is
body?
like, yeah, the larynx is cartilage mostly. And so I'm thinking like that the bony stuff is like cartilage, soul cartilage or some shit.
Right.
Because it's all the same material, and so this, I don't know.
What about the messed up idea of that the Warden, like the Skulks, are just various human body parts that have just been created as their own thing? Like the Shrieker being a human like voice box larynx thing.
I don't know. Now I think about it, because I know vocal cords are like the thing that actually vibrates, but I'm thinking, and there's like spiraling souls within the actual Shrieker that is fueling the the sound, but I'm thinking that cartilage helps with those vibrations and detecting those vibrations, because it's like I don't know, it's like the same idea as like it helps transmit it. Like, right. It helps travel through, or like increase the. I don't know. You get my point.
Yeah.
There's a word that I'm trying to look for, but I can't find it. I can't think of it.
The Warden, abomination either way, whether it be made out of one Steve or many Steves.
Or maybe the ancient city people are the same as the ancient builders. We don't know.
Yeah.
So far, it kind of leans towards maybe not with that weird statue thing.
So,
all right.
Let's get the hell out of this
all
dark
the deep
place.
Dark shit. Let's move on to like what the rest of 1.19 is, and that is kind of like it's kind of like a biome update.
Right.
So, like, they're gonna overhaul birch forests and swamps. They only showed concept art for the birch forests at Minecraft Live. We don't know what any actual features are gonna be for that biome, but it definitely explains the old growth versus new growth birch biome names. And they definitely want to make the birch stand out from different forests, its own identity, so to speak. And from that concept image, you can see like
fallen logs and new plants.
Fallen logs, new plants, shelf fungus, and like branches, and a little bit more spread out trees.
Also hollow log as well, which is interesting.
Yeah. And then there was also moss on the log. That pretty much covers the birch stuff. We don't know much about it. There's like maybe new flowers, whatever. But swamp stuff, they showed a bunch of the stuff that they're actually working on for swamps. First thing that they mentioned is the chest boat.
Indeed.
Oh my god, that's going to be so useful.
If you live on like an ocean, which I've frequently done because I've done like a lot of like underground ocean bases, this is going to be very, very useful.
Oh, yeah. Apparently you can use a hopper to like take stuff out of it and like put stuff in it as well. Which, like, if you create a certain dock for that, it's going to be really cool.
Right. Trade and commerce and stuff.
Yeah. But I've played with the Abnormals mod, the Extra Boats mod, where they have their own chest boat, and I've used that before, and it's very helpful. I just like I've left a chest boat near this one house that I made in a rainforest biome, which is part of atmospheric mod, and I just like my house was over the water, and I just had that chest boat there, which was very convenient. But one thing to point out is that the chest boat was one of the features mentioned from the biome vote option for the swamp in 2019. Right. And the other two features, frogs and mangrove trees, are also in 1.19 because fits with the swamp stuff. But that basically gives the other biome vote losers a chance in the future to possibly reappear.
I really want ostriches, man. I love you some ostriches.
I think one of the most. I think palm trees will be very vital, if that makes sense. Like it's been like a long awaited popular thing that would be awesome in Minecraft.
I think the second most popular tree would probably be the cherry tree as well.
Yeah. Some sort of cherry tree or like cherry blossoms with pink leaves. That'd be nice.
Really would though.
I don't know if they're gonna add other biome vote losers into the wild update. It's definitely a possibility, but I don't know if they would, because this seems like it's a relatively smaller update without any extra stuff that they've mentioned. But who knows? Maybe we'll see other biome vote stuff in this update that they haven't announced yet. Mangroves! Oh my god, I love them.
Who does?
New tree.
Yeah.
It's been such a long time.
New wood.
New wood.
It's like the successful child of acacia and jungle.
Yeah. It's like a more red jungle. It's like jungle 2.0.
Yeah.
As my friend described it in my live reaction video, but it's very nice. I think it works. We have yet to see what the doors and trapdoors look like, what those designs are, but that's okay. That was just Minecraft live footage, and there's always room to tweak stuff. But
the door mystery box.
Door mystery box, yes. But they talked about how mangroves have a completely different sapling system. Instead of like breaking the tree and then letting the leaves decay and the sapling drops from the leaves, instead there's a new type of plant thing from the. Basically, it's like the tree pod or seed pod called the propagule.
Right.
From the mangrove that grows under the mangrove leaves, and the propagule then drops into the water. And in real life, the propagules can float for like a couple of years before planting itself and growing into a new mangrove. And mangroves are very vital in real life to help with shores, like from
stop erosion.
Stop erosion and waves coming in, like temper down the waves, and like it helps a lot. Very important to real life, but I think it's awesome that they're bringing mangroves into the game, because mangroves are also like a vital, and like, are they like an endangered plant? I don't know.
I know the forests are kind of like an at threat.
Yeah, they're at threat, and so I think it's awesome that they're bringing the mangroves into actual Minecraft to like teach children about it and whatnot. Teach people about it, not just children.
Right.
So, about that, Love Tropics this year. At Minecraft Live, we saw Corey, aka Kojo Max, talk about the mangroves and most of the other swamp stuff. But he has also worked on the Tropic Craft mod, along with some other friends of his and folks. And to like a few years ago, they started this Minecraft charity live stream event called Love Tropics, and each year they support like a different environmental cause. However, this year It's been announced, so I'm allowed to say it. They're supporting OSA. I forgot what OSA stands for. It's a conservation effort of for which this year they're supporting mangroves and mangrove trees.
Right.
And they're gonna try to raise money for this conservation to protect these mangroves. For those who don't know, I am a builder for Love Tropics. So this year, if you do participate on the Love Tropics server that they'll have up, which you'll have to like donate $20 to $30 to play, on their server, they're gonna have like several hosts who are like YouTubers and like well-known Minecrafters. And it's in the entire weekend long from the 5th to the 7th of November. So pretty damn soon. Be there or be square.
Rectangle.
I'm a builder for them, so I built a couple things on that server. So you'll probably see me playing on there and helping out with stuff. It'll be very fun.
You got the Tropa Pass.
Tropa Pass. I got the Tropa Pass, basically.
Indeed.
Because last year I donated to play on the server and I built like a really awesome axolotl, and they were like, "Oh, you wanna be on our build team?" And I was like, "Yeah, hell yeah, I'll help build for stuff." And so yeah, all right, I'm gonna leave the next thing up for you because I think you're very excited about this.
All right, they did it. They added brown bricks in Minecraft, thanks to mud. But
Mud.
brown bricks in Minecraft.
Mud.
Indeed. So from what I understand, mud is created when you expose dirt to water, and if you put it on like a dripstone under it, it will drain the water out and turn into clay, making renewable clay a very much possible thing.
Yeah.
And because of that opens like a whole new like chart, a whole new like frontier.
Shard?
Of, like,
Did you say shard?
Yeah, chart of like renewable
Shard.
stone and clay, right? In fact, I think I saw this cool chart thing, right, of like converting stone into glazed terracotta.
Oh shit.
And it's like super duper in depth. Like it's like some like like Doodle God where like you like combine elements to create new ones, right?
Oh yeah.
Yeah, it's like that where you like introduce elements and stuff to each other, and then like you get new stuff from there.
No longer are the days of trading clay with villagers. Now we have mud.
Mud time.
I think the color of the mud, they said they wanted to keep the color of the mud that way, but I think they're definitely gonna. Jappa said on the Discord that I'm in, he said that they're gonna definitely make it less grainy.
For me, my issue is that it's a bit too kind of grayish in a way.
I think that they want to keep it that way because it's very similar to like real life mud.
Yeah.
In that sense.
Is that when I hear mud, I don't really associate like dark brown. I associate more like a vibrant, proper brown.
Yeah. I think instead of like purplish gray, I think it should be a little bit more purplish brown, but still have gray tones to it.
Right.
But yeah, nice feature. I think it will also
brown
be
bricks
like if you
in Minecraft.
I think if you also walk on the mud, it'll slow you down a little bit, sort of like soul sand, but not as bad as it. But fireflies.
Fireflies.
I have mixed feelings about fireflies.
I myself wouldn't believe my eyes.
10 million of them.
Fireflies.
You would not. Okay. But I have mixed opinions about them because they're the size of them.
Yeah.
I think in my head it makes sense that it would be cool if they made fireflies big to like match with the rest of the bugs in Minecraft that are currently in game, like bees and spiders, because there's like this cool idea of like large insects, which is cool to think about, like have an insect as large as you.
Right.
And there's like a theme there that you could go with. Maybe in the future they have like giant flowers and then you find a bunch of bugs in that biome. Whatever.
God, I would pay so much for like a giant flower biome.
That'd be awesome. But they made fireflies 2 pixels. Very small. However, I think
minimize those vertices.
It's a win-lose because with the small fireflies and a bunch of them in a group glowing together, it creates that ambience that they are trying to go for with the swamp.
Yeah. You can't really get the same with like giant ones.
Yeah, I would like want slightly larger fireflies, but I don't know if it would have the same effect.
Maybe they could grow up, perhaps. I don't know. Or how maybe it's that the female ones are giant, because from what I understand, male fireflies are the ones you see flying around, and they're pretty small, but the female ones in comparison are actually pretty big, and those are the ones you see in the grass.
Oh,
Maybe you could have like giant female fireflies, or like, I don't know, yeah, I guess in this case we could probably say female, like on the ground, and that like flash much slower, but with like a brighter flash, perhaps. I don't know.
I don't know if they want to add like sexual differences to Minecraft.
Fair.
They want to like keep things relatively all the like same gender.
Yeah.
There is only one gender. Minecraft. Mob.
Yeah. Somehow we come to the same conclusion.
Because you can one cow has an udder, and then the other cow has an udder, but you can still breed them to make another cow. Whatever. Right. Let the cows be themselves. But okay. One of the literally most exciting things on Earth. Frogs.
Froggy.
I when I saw them, it was like my best reaction of that video. I just got very loud and popped
the frog
off.
Rage.
I popped off. I was popping off.
The wow. The wow.
I soon after that I watched a compilation of just frogs screaming.
Perfect.
But I kind of like the color. I like that the normal ones are orange, and then if you want like a classic green, you gotta go to the snow and like have the tadpoles grow up in that biome to make a green frog. And if you want a white frog, you go to the tropical biomes like deserts and jungles or something, and you make the tadpole grow up there, and it becomes a white frog. I think I love that concept. And it's a different model for a baby mob.
Right. For me, if I were to do it, I would make these changes a bit more noticeable. Like maybe the snow frogs like a little bit bigger and more like blocky and kind of like, I guess is dumpy the right word, versus the tropical frog, which is a bit more spindly and thin.
Oh.
That's what I would do.
I like the idea that it's like all the same relative shape instead of changing the model drastically.
The perfect shape, a block with leg and two eyes.
Now, one thing that I did see is that you can see the frogs like sticking their tongues out, which is awesome. Yeah. But they're eating fireflies,
which is an issue.
It's kind of an issue. They might change it, just like the parrots eating cookies, which was not a good idea because parrots are like, like chocolate is poisonous to parrots.
Yeah.
The same thing is applied here. Fireflies in real life are poisonous to frogs if they eat them.
Right.
And so
maybe have them.
I don't know what the solution there would be necessarily. Maybe they add flies, just normal flies.
Maybe have them eat or not necessarily eat, like maybe like bite down on hostile bug mobs.
That'd be cool. But then how would they use the tongue then? Like you want to still have that tongue feature. So I think it would make sense to have like flies as well.
They shoot the tongue at the spider, and the spider basically becomes like kind of like leaded onto there. Basically, the frog is like a fence post, and the spider is like leaded to him.
Ooh, what if? Okay, that would be cool. So like the frog automatically attacks any other bug mob, at least spiders, and then if the spider tries to run away from the frog. So like frogs are like a bug repellent.
Basically.
That'd be cool. But yeah, that pretty much covers all the features, but I want to talk about our ideas for this update.
Yeah.
Do you want to go first?
All right. For me, I feel like this update will be minimal in fantasy mobs. I don't know why, but I feel like they're going to add more endangered species. Basically the endangered species update, right?
Yeah.
And I feel like one thing that could belong here is the capybara.
Oh my god. I want capybaras so badly. I want them to pull up. Okay, I'll pull up.
I feel like they would probably spawn in the mangrove biomes, of course, as like a unique mob there.
That'd
kind of
be
antenna.
so awesome.
And here's a dumb idea. Capybaras pacify otherwise hostile mobs.
They're just vibing with them?
Yeah. So, like, for example, if I don't know, like a Ravager, like, yeah, I feel like this could work especially well with, like, a kind of like a maybe non-human, like, mobs. Like, maybe Illagers would not be affected, but stuff like, for example, right, you have a Ravager, like, about to, like, plow you, right? But then you have a Capybara right next to you, and the Ravager kind of just calms down.
Oh my god. I would have Rudy and a Capybara.
Yes, you would.
Shit. Sorry, Rudy's like, every time I capture a Ravager, I always name it Rudy. I always come up with, like, certain names for certain mobs.
Right. Actually, yeah, angry bees, right? If a bee gets angry, you just walk up to the capybara and the bee just kind of loses interest and puzzles back to its nest.
Kind of like I guess Moobloom 2.0.
Hell, maybe
in
like
that sense, but
maybe mob predation is also lowered, so you can actually have like ocelots with chickens as well. Basically, just like a temperament mob that makes otherwise hostile
therapy
animal
mob.
mobs. Yeah,
that'd be awesome.
Hell, I feel like zombies would be affected by this since they're kind of in the animalistic and dumb category.
I don't know. I feel like that'd be less so with actual like hostile monsters, but I think it makes sense with like neutral mobs, like neutral animals. That'd be cool.
Yeah, capybara, little vibing mob.
And then you can feed them melons. That'd be awesome.
Yeah, maybe like you could like yeah, maybe they could just eat and farm melon blocks. You have like basically you have a melon farm, right? And the capybara just goes up to it and eats it and turns it into an item. Oh, actually, on the topic of food, I feel like they will do a lot with food on this update. I don't know why. It's like another sensation. Like they'll add like new interesting recipes for like unique foods.
I don't know if they'll do that for this update. I feel like a food and agricultural update would be nice in the future. Like a Farmer's Delight sort of deal.
Right.
That'd be awesome. Farmer's Delight is such a good mod.
I haven't gotten around to like messing around with it, but I'm interested in it.
They added a frying pan recently. It's
No
awesome.
way.
You can
No
use it
way.
as a
Frying pan
weapon
IRL?
and you can use it as a weapon and cook stuff with it.
How much damage does it deal?
7. It's like it's
interested.
on par with a sword.
Does it have the attack speed of a sword?
I think it's a little bit slower, but
Oh my god, I kind of want to use it. I want to.
it makes like a TF2 bang noise.
I'm convinced.
Not the exact noise, but it's similar.
I'm convinced. I am thoroughly convinced.
I've never played TF2, but I think you are an avid TF2 enjoyer from what I've seen.
Say, Talon, what is your 1.19 speculation?
I wanted to say one thing. One person in the chat said platypus, maybe?
Platypus.
Perry the platypus!
No way!
No, that's just a normal platypus. It's just a Minecraft platypus. Perry the Minecraft platypus!
Oh, you're really good at doing like random voices and stuff.
Perry the platypus!
Oh god, it's too good! Nah, platypodes are just weird. Like,
oh my god, they are.
They're venomous. They're actually venomous.
Yeah, and they lay... What a wacky animal.
Wacky little creature.
Lay eggs. Duck bill, but like fur.
Mammal.
What a funny guy. What a funny marsupial.
Comical little creature.
But my 1.19 idea. I have one. I might make a separate video about it, going into like full depth as to what it is. I've seen several people on Twitter also have the same idea, but I had this idea way longer before them.
Right.
Way before frogs were added, I had this idea of if they ever decided to add frogs in the future, of like a mushroom frog, a toadstool, if you will.
Yes, yes.
And it was like a little frog that had like mushrooms growing out of its back. And I like made a model initially. I want to do like a better model based off the new frog. Obviously, I made this model way before I knew anything about pixel art. But basically, I really want it to fucking happen. And the name Toadstool works really well with the mushroom theme.
Yeah, because they're all
like puns.
Yeah.
Because like a mooshroom, that's a pun in it of its name. A toadstool would work really well with that too.
Right.
But I want to save this idea mostly for when I make the video. But current idea is that you you have two. I don't know if it would be its own mob or like variants of normal frogs. I'm still working out the idea a little bit in terms of that, but there's like a a normal toadstool and a brown toadstool. The normal toadstool would be red, the brown toadstool would be brown, and then they both have different purposes, which I will get to when I make that video. But yeah, I really want to see mushroom frog, so toadstool, and
Frog, eh?
I'm going to advocate it. But yeah, that was my little funny idea.
Mushroom frog, eh? The toadstool.
Yay.
Alright, so, with the announcement of like 1.18 and 1.19, one thing, or actually not one thing, multiple things got missed. What are they gonna do with like archaeology and stuff? Like, what happened to it?
So, I think what happened to it is that archaeology was such a large concept, but they tried starting with it back in when they announced 1.17, but then they realized that it could be such a large concept, and they wanted to do it right that they eventually just put it back in their ideas pile for whenever they choose that they want to add it back into an update. So for now, it's kind of just back in their ideas pile. We don't have no confirmation as to whether or not it will be in it'll probably be in a future update, but we don't know if it'll be soon or later on.
There will be no Indiana Jones.
I don't get that reference.
Oh.
Oh, the pots.
Just me denying Indiana Jones' existence.
Oh yeah, he's an archaeologist, isn't he?
Yeah.
Okay, yeah.
Say, your grandfather was a paleontologist, right? Or archaeologist?
No, he's an archaeologist as well.
I see.
Yeah, he like. I uploaded the video of all my grandpa's archaeological dig in
I remember
Sicily.
Really cool shit.
I love that video. It's like one of my favorite videos.
Such a cool vintage vibe as well.
Yeah, and then I put some like classical music on the background of it. I got a copyright for the music, but I don't care about it. I don't care about it. But bundles.
Bundle.
So I think they realized that the bundle is like also in this weird like they definitely did a lot of testing with the idea in the snapshots.
Right.
But they like removed it, and I think they're gonna put it back in their ideas pile, maybe, or save it for 1.19. We don't know what that is. It's a feature that they've worked on. They've coded some of it, so they wouldn't put it to waste. But they wanna. I think they need to think through it a little bit more in terms of like how you craft it, because the crafting recipe is difficult if you're not in the right biome, because you need like 6 rabbit hide, which is tough to get early game, even though it's supposed to be an early game item.
I feel like it may face the fate of the Illusioner. What will be a perfectly functional feature, but it may just be kind of like existing in limbo for quite a while.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Whatever happened to Illusioners, man?
Kojo said that he wanted to add Illusioner when it felt right. When they like he definitely said he wanted to work on that once like they have the right time to do that.
Illusioners on their own can be pretty much a mini boss, so like having them during a raid feels like it would be too hectic and challenging.
Okay, when I played Minecraft Dungeons, and the Illusioner in there is like tough as fuck.
Yeah,
it has a whole new texture, which I really enjoy.
This cool like hooded robed one.
Yeah, but it shoots a firework at you.
Jesus!
And the firework does a shit ton of damage. It does its normal thing of like creating its copies, but it like creates a bunch of copies, which once you punch it, then it disappears. Instead of like the current Illusioner in Minecraft Java, where it's like a couple copies are floating that when you try to hit them, they just kind of are non-existent, and then the real one's like invisible in the middle of all of them.
The Illusioner moonwalks.
Basically. I think if they changed the Illusioner to be more like the Dungeons Illusioner, that'd be really awesome.
A bit more manageable as well.
Yeah, and there was a missed opportunity, in my opinion, that they could have added the Illusioner alongside Iceologer if Iceologer won, because the Illusioner and Iceologer are part of the same dungeons. Minecraft Dungeons DLC pack.
Right.
But yeah, they would have been like Illager buddies. Like 2 for 1 was my idea of that.
Always up for like a new Illager enemy myself.
Yeah. And then final thing is a goat horn.
I mean,
this is a feature.
what do you do with it?
I don't. Okay, so
you blow a horn and it makes that raid sound, I guess.
Yeah, that's pretty much all we know that it does. And
Villager Skiver?
I don't know. So it's only in Bedrock Edition right now.
Right.
And how you get it is you wait for a goat to charge at you, and then you move out of the way, and it runs into a log. And if it runs into a log, it drops its horn. And then you can use that horn, blow into it, and just creates a pillager raid noise. But that's all it does in the Bedrock Edition.
Siren, maybe?
We don't even know what it'll actually do, or if they're going to even decide to add it for 1.18.
Warden and Rager.
It might be a feature that might get discarded.
Yeah.
It seems likely to get discarded, but I think it would be cool if they did include it in 1.18. Because think about it. You can like have your goat horn on the top of a mountain, and then you blow into it, make the horn noise. Sort of like... And you could, like, not really yodel. You can't yodel in Minecraft, but you feel like a mountaineer of sorts.
I feel like it could work well for, like, a siren, maybe. Like, if you need to, like, alert, like, oh, no, something bad happened. Like, you can, use the goat horn as an alarm. Yeah. And also a way to enrage the warden, which is, like, a really common one.
I think they should change the noise slightly to be different from the raid noise, because otherwise you're going to think that it's a raid. But, like, you should still know and differentiate the noise and be like, oh, it's someone using a horn instead of the raid actually happening, you know? I think that pretty much wraps it up.
I'd say so.
We did a lot of talking, a lot of ideas.
We did a small amount of trolling as well.
Anyways, the candles are starting to dim, and the sound of footsteps are near, meaning that it's time for us to go.
But before we do, don't forget that you're able to check the rest of our content on our channels.
Thanks for listening, guys. Have a good one.
This is your host, Deonsu. Out.